Spaceape are currently looking at a number of bots and trying to give them buffs. The 5 bots that are currently being looked at in playtest, I won't go through the changes too much yet, but I'll talk about some of the suggestions. It was a Grimlock, which I think is well overdue. I think that's a brilliant choice. Trailbreaker, which, yeah, probably needs a buff to fair, probably needs a bit of a change. Skydive, Nose Cone, and Slash. When this got announced, I was not happy to say the least. This actually spurred me on to consider simply just leaving the game, if I'm deadly honest with you. I've currently left my alliance, I'm currently not in an alliance, and this was kind of the cause of it. With Grimlock, the suggestions were, let's make him like Pipes, but more damage. And I was just like, oh my god, like, Pipes is probably the most OP, in fact, no. Pipes is the most OP bot in the game right now. And there's very little counters, just the FFD, but the general consensus seems to be, take out the FFD and use Pipes. You'll win. And that's pretty much it. Honestly, guys, go watch my video about Pipes being indestructible, along with Headstrong. So we need some sort of counter to that. And the last thing I want to see is another bot come out that does more damage than that. I know some people in chat going, oh, that'd be crazy if Grimlock did that. It would be, honestly be game-breaking, guys. Game-breaking. And it sort of killed me that playtesters are even asking for that. And then it comes to Trailbreaker. I think an easy solution was to extend the shield, make it a bit bigger. And I think that was really, really good. Is Trailbreaker one of the worst bots in the game? I don't think so. I think there's a lot more bots that definitely needed a buff or a change over Trailbreaker. And my idea was to do the first 2 batches of the 5 stars. Because people will pull a 4-star and not really use it at the mid to top levels. Everyone wants them 5-star bots. And I'm sure literally every single person in this chat has a 5-star bot that they don't use and haven't leveled and left to rot. You're talking Drift, you're talking Grimlock, maybe Gnaw even to a degree, just maybe it's HP, without putting that into the Shark. I think the Sharks are very good, but Gnaw himself, because the melee bot, dies very easily. So it's more of a HP change for Gnaw, in my opinion. And the likes of Drift, it was simply just, let's give him a, I think it was Ability 11, was it, for Drift? There's some easy fixes, some very easy fixes for a lot of bots. And I just think that they chose some big projects, first off. And I sort of said to Dale that Dale's sort of learning this process and getting to grips with it. And I think there could have been some bots that had a very easy fix. A HP increase, a damage increase, a reduced cost decrease, an initial cost decrease. Some very easy fixes, not class change or anything like that. Just some easy fixes that could have been done, sent out, very, very easy. But they decided not to do that. And so they went with Grimlock, like I said, Trailbreaker and Skydive. And people were saying in the chat, like, oh, reduce Skydive's cost. I was like, he does the most damage in the game. And the apes even came back and went, no, he doesn't. I was like, yes, he does. Yes, he does. Outside of SG Jetfire, yes, he does. Does a lot more damage than Jetfire. And I don't understand that we've got Skydive, who has Acid. Yes, it's damage over time, but he now blocks healing. Why would we give it a cost decrease? And that was the initial sort of, what they wanted to do. I think they've gone away from that now and they're not giving that sort of cost decrease. Because I was like, that makes no sense at all. Because we had this Silverbolt, that Silverbolt was the same cost as Jetfire, with obviously more range, more damage. And the sort of question we sort of asked ourselves was, why would you ever go for Jetfire if they're both the same cost and everything Silverbolt does is better than Jetfire? But that was the sort of idea behind it. There should always be a balance of, if a bot does more damage, then it should be more of a cost. If it has more range, it should have more of a cost. That cost of that damage increase should be at a cost, which is usually ability points. And that's why I've sort of said the likes of Dust Up and a massive cost reduction, in my opinion. Because you don't get much out of it for its cost. And then Dale was talking about Nose Cone. And this is going to be a huge project. Absolutely massive to change Nose Cone. And some of the ideas were just like massively OP. Some of the ideas were nothing different than what it currently does. I was like, why are we spending so much time working on this bot When, yes, it's probably the worst bot in the game. I agree with that. And yes, does need some time. But this is time for someone that's been there and done it maybe and worked on a few bots and kind of, is, sufficient in knowing exactly what they're going to do. Not a sort of project for someone that's learning that's going to take them probably months to do, I'm honest with you. And from what I saw from Nose Cone, I was just like, this is not making it that much better, really. And I was quite disappointed. And then the last bot I looked at was Slash. And there was talk of maybe giving Slash a range increase. And I was like, well, why didn't you just do this with the G1 core? We've literally just balanced the G1 core. And I also said that listen, the damage increase is not much difference. The Megatronus, the invisibility isn't really going to help survive that much because it's melee. The range increase could have been massive. I don't mean massive as in like how big it is, but I mean massive as in like how important it was for Slash. And that's what I mean about giving bots. We've already got Megatronus. We don't need extra damage for Slash when we've got Megatronus that's perfect for her. But that range increase should have been brilliant for the G1 core. Why bring a G1 core out and think to yourself, alright, we've got this G1 core, but this bot needs more? Surely, it's like both parts are talking to each other. The person that makes the G1 core and Dale are not talking to each other going, but actually, we're already working on this bot. Why not kill two birds with one stone and just do this? So when you've got, sort of playtesters giving maybe unrealistic things for Grimlock, and then you've got Skydive who doesn't need a buff, and you've got Nullcoin who needs so much work, it's ridiculous, and you've got Slash that we've already just worked on. For me, playtest was literally just in tatters. It was all over the show. One thing, not knowing what they're doing, not really knowing the bots in terms of Spaceape and what they should be doing or how good they are. And Dale said that he looked at some of the bottom bots, and those are the 5 he sort of came up with. And I don't think they're 5 of the worst bots in the game by any means. There's a lot worse bots than those. When you talk about, Jetfire Skystriker, when you talk about, Nose Cone, when you talk about bots like that, there's Optimus Primal, really, Hound Vamp, really poor bot. Who else? I mean, poor Hopper's had about 5 buffs and still isn't there. I mean, when you talk about who else? Snarl, like I said, but we've literally just gone through Snarl. Even Cheetah needs a bit of a buff. Streetwise, Frieza's Maximus covered these sort of bots in his channel, and I covered him a while ago. It's so poor. And then even you got the likes of Braun, which is a recent release, who's not very good at all. SG Goldbug, and it's just so many bots that could do with a rework of some kind. But it is good looking at old content. It is good looking at old bots. I'm really pleased about that. But it's 3 years too late, maybe. And these things should be coming out thick and fast now for me. Very thick and fast. Very small changes. Very quick changes.